Hey guys, we are looking at a concept called average speed in time and distance. It's a simple idea. Supposing you're traveling from, say, Chennai to Mumbai. I don't know the distance between these two places. Let's assume that to be 1500 kilometers. And the total time you're taken to cover this entire trip from Chennai to Mumbai, let it be, say, 30 hours. Then how do you calculate the average speed? Average speed is calculated like this. You take the total distance covered, divide that by total time taken for the entire journey. Here, as you know, this is assumed to be 1500 and the total time taken is 30, which works out to 50 kilometer per hour. And this is taken to be the average speed of the entire journey. See, for the trip from Chennai to Mumbai, you might have traveled at different speeds. You might have gone at, say, 100 kilometer per hour or 20 kilometer per hour, or at times even zero when you have your car or whatever you're traveling in halting. But the average works out to so much. So in problems dealing with average speed, you need to find out the total distance of the entire journey and divide that by the total time taken. You will get the average speed. There's only so much to know about average speed. We'll work out a few problems to illustrate this simple idea. The first problem using the concept of average speed is this. I travel from A to B at 25 km per hour and back to B at 75 km per hour. What's my average speed? We don't know the total distance between A and B. You might choose it as a variable or any convenient number to use calculation. Let me choose the distance between A and B as, see, we will choose a number divisible by 25 and 75. Let it be 150 kilometers. And you're working out average speed. That's equal to, see, as you know, it is total distance divided by total time. So how much is the total distance in this case? On the assumption of AB being 150, he is going from A to B and then back to A. That means totally he covers 150 plus 150. This is the total distance he covers divided by total time. So for each stretch of journey, let's calculate the time separately. For the onward trip, the distance is so much and the speed is given to be 25. So this is distance by speed, that gives you the time. Similarly, for the return trip, same distance, but it covers at a much higher speed, which is 75 km per hour. So this will be the distance 150, speed 75. So as you know, distance by speed is time, the basic result. So this on simplifying, you will get the average speed. Yeah, we will simplify that. Numerator 300. This is what? 6. The next one is 2. So you have 300 by 8. This on further simplification, 37.5 kilometer per hour. So this is the average speed of the entire trip. Let me show you something else. Generally, people tend to take the average speed as the average of these two figures, which is wrong. You may call that average of speeds. See, this is what people see. First it was 25, second it is 75. So what do people do? They will take the average. This is wrong. This on simplification is 50 km per hour. Maybe you can call this as average of speeds. That's not equal to average speed, which we got as 37.5 km per hour. So never do this process. Maybe you can use it when you're asked to find out average of speeds, which is not so relevant in any context. But if there is something, where you have to work it out, you can do that. But average speed is always done using the basic result, total distance by total time, and that gives you 37.5 km per hour. The second question is this. A car covers the distance from P to Q at an average speed of 50 km per hour. The car covers the first 2/5 of the distance in 1/4 of the total travel time. What would be the average speed of the car for the remaining part of the distance to be covered? Here we know the speed of the car, 50 kilometer per hour. What about the time it takes to move from P to Q? Not given. So you can assume it to be some variable, or you can take a convenient number to ease calculation, because finally you are not finding the time, you're finding something else like average speed. So it doesn't matter how you begin, the total time taken for the entire journey. So let it be a convenient number, means you're taking 1/4 of the total time. So let's assume 4 hours is the total time to cover PQ. That is the total distance equal to 4 hours. So we know the speed and total time is assumed to be 4 hours. In that case, what would be the total distance to be covered? That would be 50 into 4, 200 kilometer. They say the car covers the first 2/5 of the distance. 2/5 of the distance means 2 by 5 into 200. This is the total distance. That's how much? 80 kilometer. How much is the time taken for covering so much distance? 1/4 of the time. So total time assumed to be 4 hours. 1/4 of that means 1 by 4 into 4. You can find out time taken to cover 80 kilometer equal to 1 by 4 into 4, which is equal to 1 hour. We are looking at the average speed of the car for the remaining part. So let's work out the remaining distance, which will be 200 minus 80. 200 total distance. Distance already covered 80. So the difference gives you the remaining distance. What about the remaining time you have? 4 hours total time. 1 hour used for a certain part of the journey. So the remaining time will be 3 minus 1. Sorry, 4 minus 1 equal to 3 hours. Now average speed of the remaining part. That will be the remaining distance, the total remaining distance rather, by the total time taken for the remaining part, which is 3. Total distance by total time, that gives you 40 kilometer per hour. So this is the final answer to the question. Yeah, let's look at one more problem from the concept average speed. A train covers the first 100 kilometer at 25 kilometer per hour, the next 80 kilometer at 20 kilometer per hour, and the remaining part of the journey in 2 hours. The average speed of the train for the whole journey is 36 kilometer per hour. How much is the speed of the train in the last part of the journey? We are asked to find out speed for the last part of the journey. So we need to find out the total distance in the last part of the journey and also the time. Time is given in the problem. Remaining part of the journey is done in 2 hours. So we know the time. The only thing we need to find out is the distance in the third part or the last part of the journey. Let D be the distance in the last part of the journey. They've divided the whole stretch of journey into 3 parts. We will write all the 3 different parts. Distance we will write first. Then let's write, they're giving speed and distance for the different parts of the journey. In the first part, it's 100 kilometer. Can you see this? And that's done at what speed? 25 kilometer per hour. In the next part, 80 kilometer completed in what speed? 20 kilometer per hour. The last part assumed to be D. And we don't know the speed directly. They say this was completed in 2 hours. What would be the speed actually? This will be the speed completed in 2 hours. This is the way they have given the data. And we know the average speed of the whole journey, 36 kilometer per hour. How do you work out the average speed of the entire journey, which as you know is total distance divided by total time. Total distance is this plus this plus this, which is 100 plus 80 plus D divided by total time. Yeah, you need to find out the time taken for the 3 different stretches of the journey. For the first part, this is the distance. You divide it by the corresponding speed. You get the time. Then for the next part, same thing. For the last part, you don't need to do that because they are giving straight away the time for the last part as 2 hours. So this will be the average speed of the entire journey, and that's given to be 36 kilometer in the problem. Now let's simplify this. This implies 180 plus D divided by 100 by 25, 4. The other one also 4 plus 2 equal to 36. This implies 180 plus D divided by 10 equal to 36. 180 plus D, 360. Now, keeping D here, take 180 to the right side, you get 180. So we have found out the distance in the third part of the journey. We are asked to find out what speed of the train in the last part. Speed, as you know, D by T is speed. So speed is equal to D, found out to be 180. And how much is the time? That's given in the problem. It is 2 hours. So 290 kilometer per hour is the speed of the train in the last part or the remaining part of the journey. We have worked out totally 3 problems in today's session based on the concept average speed. If there is any step you are unable to follow in any of the problems that I have solved here, raise it in the comment section and I will address it there. See you guys in my next video with some more different concepts in time and distance along with some interesting problems. Bye for now.